Hello. You want to come along with me for a few minutes? I'm bottling up some flying potion or flying ointment. No, it's not pea soup. This is Witches Flying Ointment, and it's authentic and real, and I thought I would talk to you about it while I sat here and packaged it up for you. Yeah. Well, what we have here is a combination of olive oil, some CBD flour that was ground up, poppy seeds, parsley, a bit of beeswax, all melted down. Oh, this is unplugged, good, and we're all done with that. Then to preserve it, most of the time people will use a benzoin tincture, but I don't have benzoin right now. And I was looking through all of my, I'll show you, I don't know if you can see all of my herbs and spices, and that's just part of them. That's just part of the room. So I was looking, and I didn't have benzoin. And I thought, well, frankincense works even better. I think that was like the original preservative. So I powdered that up and added that to some alcohol, which makes a natural tincture and a natural preservative. And I actually like that better. Let's talk about Witches Flying Ointment. As you go running to your internet, it's important to know what you're going to find. Don't do a traditional flying ointment that you might find. Any of them that are found on the internet that they consider authentic or original or from the 1500s or the burning times will kill you. I'm looking here. Oh, strong. But I love it. Smells good, but it is not going to kill you. It is not poisonous. There's no poison. Even, if you wanted to go wild and crazy and use some marijuana, medical marijuana that has THC in it, fine. I'm using CBD flour because there's no reason to, it's up to you, but there's no reason to poison yourself with doing anything stronger than like THC. The old recipes, they had things from even tobacco. Nicotine will kill you if you put nicotine juice on your skin. It just will. It is that toxic. My goodness, opium, mandrake, hemlock, hashish, a foxglove. Oh, you don't want to deal with any of that stuff. It is so unbelievably toxic. Now, you have to consider a few things. Understanding history. One, the Witches Flying Ointment recipes were derived under duress, under torture. Are any of them even real? When an inquisitor is torturing you, I won't even go over the methods of torture because even if you're a fan of horror movies today, which I like horror movies, they come not even close to methods that were employed during the burning times and the Inquisitions. So when someone is torturing a human being to such an extent and they ask you, horrible things like, is baby's fat, unbaptized baby's fat used in this recipe? And these people are going to say anything their inquisitors want them to say in the hopes that the torture will stop. There's absolutely no way. That's why it's against the Geneva Convention. No. Anything that is derived under torture, you throw out the window. It is not credible at all. And there is also the flip side of that coin, that these recipes exist. They were written down by scribes that worked for the church, whose sole purpose for a really long time was to eliminate anyone that they thought were doing or practicing anything that they disagreed with. So putting out recipes and things like this that might get into the wrong hands, and somebody might try it because they didn't have the maybe pharmacological knowledge to know how dangerous it was. They may happen to kill a few people along the way because they tried a recipe that was deadly, unbeknownst to them. Well, you know, hey, win-win for some people, as horrible as it is. Don't try those recipes. It is not worth killing yourself over. The recipe I'm using: CBD flowers, poppy seeds, ground up parsley, parsley like you use for dinner, imported olive oil. I like to get mine from the Middle East, Israel primarily. They make amazing olive oil. Beeswax, which is really amazing. Maybe 1 part beeswax to maybe 10 parts olive oil, so you get a nice thick mixture. And what I do is I put all the herbs in water first and start cooking them. Kind of strain out all of the good essence from the herbs. Then I put in, while the water is still in there, I put in the olive oil and the beeswax, and I cook it all down, and that actually sucks all the good essence out of the water into the waxy components. Then I strain it all through a mesh strainer. The water and the unwanted, the water separates, the unwanted plant parts are taken out. I cook it down again, which evaporates whatever water is left. And then I get this lovely situation right here. Oh, look at that. It is absolutely the right amount. Oh, I have 1 extra. Oh, that's okay. And now the next thing I'm going to do, after I did all of that, before I packaged it up here, I did mix up in my mortar and pestle some frankincense and powdered it up, and then I put some 91% rubbing alcohol in there, about 2 tablespoons of frankincense, and powdered it up, in about a 1/4 cup of rubbing alcohol, and I let them mix up really, really well. And then I added it to the mixture and let it all melt together. That is going to keep it from turning sour, ideally, but hopefully we'll use this, or people will buy it and use it. What am I doing here? I'm putting a red thread on each flying ointment, because 1, it is a protective item. Red thread is protective, and it's going to add an energy to this flying ointment, so the witch or the magical person that is using it, while they are doing their astral travel and they're going to the places they wish to go, This is a tiny little tether. You leave it in the ointment. The ointment you rub all over your body. You sit down or lay down someplace comfortable where you're going to be cool enough or warm enough, or wherever you feel. The most important thing, it's not so much the temperature, it's, are you safe? Don't do this out in a public park. Do it somewhere where you're not going to be interrupted. Nobody's going to be coming through your door. Put a lock on your door. Don't just tell people, don't bother me. People can be, jerks sometimes. So make sure you're in a place that's safe. Nobody is going to interrupt you. And you can have an hour or two of time, because sometimes when you're astrally traveling, it takes longer than you expect. This is a tether. As you're out there astrally traveling, that little red thread is going to make sure you come right back to where you left off, and it helps keep you connected. I have found with other flying ointments that people can get kind of separated. I mean, we have more than one body. We have a physical body, an astral body, an etheric body, an auric body, and so on and so forth. You've heard of that. That's a whole nother class. But having this little tiny tether, I find it helpful to keep all our bodies kind of connected as we're, our physical body will stay here. Our astral body will kind of, go off and explore and see fun and exciting things. But this little tiny protective red thread is going to keep us all connected. And just keep it in your little jar. If you feel more comfortable holding it in your hand while you're astrally traveling, you can. You don't have to. You can just leave it right in the little container. Use the ointment on you. You don't have to use a lot. You can use as much as or as little as you want. You can put it on your temples. You can use it at the pulse points. Oh, I love it. Smells so good. Now this is going to be the summer 2024 batch. To make it twice a year is probably good. And I've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. One I'm putting aside because I gave one to somebody that didn't have the red thread, so I'm going to correct that. I gave it to him a little bit early, but that's all right. So I have 15. But you can make it yourself. It's really simple. So, yeah. Don't make the traditional ones, because it is not worth making yourself sick or worse, and you will. Craft of the wise. Don't be doing this as a challenge or something. It doesn't make you a better witch. It doesn't make you cooler or more powerful. It makes you extremely foolish and potentially very, very sick or dead. There's absolutely no benefit in that. So for historical interest, you might want to look at an old recipe, but stick with things like cinquefoil if you want to add to my recipe today. Cinquefoil, mugwort, dittany of Crete. Those are all excellent additions. Ideally, if you can get them fresh. Cutting up the herbs fresh, letting them simmer in the water to get the best essence out of them, then add them to oil to it. Let that simmer. That's how we do kind of a fake essential oil. Then add your little bit of beeswax. Let it all cook down. Let it cook down good, and then strain it. And you'll be assured that all of that good essence has already been sucked into the oil and the beeswax. Throw out the rest, and then cook the rest of that down. There's still going to be water in there. Cook it down until that water has evaporated. It's totally evaporated until it's nice and thick, and there is no more water left. It's just a nice thick ointment, which is great. So, and then put it in any kind of small container. Mark it well so nobody thinks it's some kind of dip or something, put a tiny little red thread in it, and keep a little journal perhaps of your astral travel, and yeah, see where it can take you. So enjoy, and I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk soon. Take care. Bye.